Hello, movie enthusiasts. Welcome to the Cinema Scoop. Today, we're talking about one of, if not the most important aspects of a movie, its protagonists and antagonists. Now, starting off with protagonists, the traits I usually look for in a well-written protagonist is that they're actually flawed, because no one likes the main character is good at everything. That's why we have character development. Always love to see that. And, of course, there's also the idea of an anti-hero, which is like basically the protagonist, but they're very flawed.
Okay.
So, do you have any protagonists in mind that you come to think of?
I really like Maleficent, as you may know, for her from The Sleeping Beauty in the 1900s.
Yeah.
She's known as the evil person in there, so I'm talking about the live-action version where she's actually the protagonist in it.
Yeah. Well, she's a protagonist, but is she good? Is she a good?
Yeah, she's
Okay.
good, yeah, but she has powers, but she sometimes uses it for her own advantage.
All right, so
And for good purposes also.
for good purposes. So
Yeah.
what made her change to good then? Like, she was evil. Why is she good now?
So in the beginning of the movie, she was just living in the moors where she grew up, and the neighboring kingdom, like across from her, decided to invade her territory,
okay.
and so she had to fight back, and she and then after that, the king who she took down was gonna die, so the king asked one of his servants to bring basically, quote unquote, bring me her head, meaning so he cut off her wings so she couldn't fly.
So,
so
but how did she become good? Like, why is she good now?
She's good. She was really honestly always good, but
Yeah.
the only reason she became pretty evil is for just revenge
Oh yeah.
on King Stefan, who took her wings.
Yeah. So is she like a comedic villain, like Dr. Doofenshmirtz? He's evil, from Phineas and Ferb, but he's not really a bad guy.
Yeah,
is it
she's
kind of
just-
like that?
Yeah, basically
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she wanted revenge on him, so she cursed his daughter, with the Sleeping Beauty curse
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything. And yeah.
So that's Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, and even though she's not really evil.
She's not evil.
She's not evil.
Yeah, she was just.
Kind of. You seen Megamind?
I've not seen Megamind.
Okay.
What is that about?
Watch it.
Okay.
But I guess it's kind of like
Maybe.
that then.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to take a short break now, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back in no time to discuss movie antagonists.
Welcome back. We talked about protagonists, but now it's time for the bad guys. So, what do you think really makes a good antagonist?
I think relatable, good motives,
Yeah.
interesting, anti-villain,
Yes.
and a rule of cool,
Yep.
Yeah.
Basically everything I I had to talk about. So yeah, really the most important thing of villain for me is their motives. Like it's kind of boring if they're just evil unless you take into account the rule of cool, which basically says if it doesn't really make the most sense or it's not too developed, if it's cool, it's okay. And then an anti-villain, obviously the opposite of an anti-hero. So an anti-villain, I guess, would mean someone who does kind of bad things but with good intentions.
Okay, yeah.
Which brings me to one of my actual favorite antagonists in a movie. His name's Francis Hummel. He was in a movie called The Rock, came out in 1996, starred Nick Cage, Sean Connery. And anyway, this guy, he's an army general, and some of his soldiers go on this secret mission, but the government kind of denies the mission. They weren't supposed to go on it, but they die on the mission, and the government is not giving any payment to the families or acknowledging their deaths. So basically what the guy does, he wants their families to have money, so he basically takes the entire city of San Francisco hostage with some biological weapons. I know it's a big jump.
Oh, wow.
Which is
okay.
why I know good motives, because he's really doing it not really for selfish reasons. He just wants justice for his fallen soldiers, and
Yeah, I understand that.
which is why I really like him. And he actually ends up his own team ends up betraying him because they just want the money for themselves, and he ends up dying. But he tells the main character where the last missile is so they can stop it. So he really turned out to be good in the end, which I really like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Any other antagonists you have in mind or anything, or?
Honestly,
Yeah.
not really.
Who's the antagonist in the Maleficent thing? Is there one, or is it kind of just?
For every movie, it's different.
Oh,
The
okay.
first one, it was herself, because, you know.
Oh, yeah, it was like we're like
and then
character versus self, you know.
And then the
That's a
second
nice
one, the
dynamic.
live action one, it was, I mean, kind of her, but she had good intentions, but it was mostly the king, because he took off her wings, and
yeah.
that started the whole
As you mentioned, the
fight,
king, yeah.
and he ended up dying, falling to his death.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And in the Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, it's the queen who's the antagonist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she.
Okay.
Mhm. And at the end, there's like a whole big fight where Maleficent has a lot of powers, and she ends up demolishing
Yeah. It really
Yeah.
depends on like the type of movie, like if the villain dies or not, or like they just go to jail.
Right.
Like there's one movie, what is it, Con Air? The villain's death is so over the top. It's just silly. He gets like, it's just like this chain reaction of like him getting onto like this like conveyor belt, and then it's just so over the top. And honestly, it was
Yeah.
kind of unnecessary.
And Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, the queen, gets turned into a pig.
Oh, wow. Anyways, that's all we have time for today. But don't worry, because soon we'll be back with another episode.